Hoka hey, Alita Army. Welcome to the Alita Livestream of May the 10th, 2024. How Alita's cybernetic enhancements impact her identity and relationships, where we discuss all things to do with the movie Alita Battle Angel, the source manga Gundam, and the greatly desired sequels. I am your host, Creek Indian from Denver, Colorado, and with me is Matu from France. How's it going, Matu?
Bonsoir tout le monde. It's going great. And you, how are you doing?
Oh, good. Real good. And from the Shires there in UK, jolly old England, is Vladdy. How's it going, Vladdy?
Good evening, Creek. Good evening, Matu. And everyone else.
Cool. Well, good to have you guys on. Well, we've only got two people out there in the chat, so we'll pick them up, I guess, eventually. Before we get into the prime topic here, the main topic, we just want to kind of remind folks that we have Rosa's Queen Studios bust of Alita. So we really want to present this to her as I guess like an award, you know, sort of an expression of our appreciation and admiration. You know, we really love Rosa. She did a great job on Alita. And we want her to know that she is #1 in our books. That's for sure.
Hello, Schmendrick. Hello, Badman in chat.
Yes, indeed. Well, now we got three people. I guess it's getting better out there.
Getting busy now.
Yeah. By the way, if anybody wants to come on, there's a link. Just click on it, and you can come on, and we'll have a talk about or a chat about Alita.
We've got to get this bust to Rosa, Creaky.
Yeah, we do. Well, I was.
Maybe we should just start wandering around LA with it in like a trolley, just like where Rosa Salazar is,
like a homeless person, right? Just walk around,
walking around with my Alita in a giant box.
Just walking around holding it. I want to give this to Rosa Salazar.
Yeah, please, I'm desperate. Now I'm here for 5 years looking for her.
Well, I think the only thing I'm going to have to do is write. I don't know who her agent is now. It's not the same people. It's on IMDb. I don't know who it is. So, but if it's
it's all just really, it's a completely different world. They just won't, unless they want to, they won't respond to it.
Yeah. Well,
so that's why I think the only way we'll be able to get it to her is if the sequels go ahead. So again, it's all on Disney's shoulders.
Yeah, I guess it is. I guess it is. By the way, one thing I've been saying that I have been in error on this thing is this thing costs more than $3,000. This thing costs $5,700, $5,700. That's what it is now.
What is that with shipping as well or something?
No, I think that's just I think it's on Amazon maybe, or it might have been directly on Queen Studios. I'm not sure.
Where did you get this one from? From Queen Studios, it was like $3,000 or something.
Off of a website, and it could have been Queen Studios. I'm not sure. I have to go back and
they might be being sold really expensively now for like $5,000.
Yes,
I think at the time they were like, what was it, $2,700?
I'm not sure. Somewhere there, maybe 3,000. So
and there was a deluxe edition which I got. Obviously, I needed to get her heart, but the heart was too small, which was kind of disappointing. But they couldn't fit it. They didn't really need to get it inside her chest. They should have just made it separate. It's a bit weird how it just goes under her boob. It's not even in the right place. It's supposed to go in that beautiful chest panel in the middle between the breasts.
Yes,
this kind of goes into the topic we're talking about, like identity and what it means to have a machine body.
Yes, we are.
We'll get into all this, won't we? It's again some interesting topics.
Yeah, I want to say Grüß Gott and Hallöchen to Smendrick und Badman. Oh, Badman. So, I guess I have to relieve.
Isn't Badman Aussie?
Yeah, I think he's an Aussie. That's right. So
yeah, there's loads of Australians in the Alita Army.
So anyway, but just wanted to say hello to those guys. So we definitely want to get this thing to Rosa. There's no doubt about it. So and it's not a gift. This is not a gift. This is what we consider an award. I mean, to us, this is an expression.
She surely didn't get the reward she deserved for the movie, so
yes,
someone's got to make up. Surely the fan passion. I know she appreciated it on that first Alita day when we sent her all the cards, but it's just like
Canadian, actually.
She deserves so much more.
Yes.
What?
Badman's a Canadian, actually. He's not an
Oh,
Aussie.
Canadian.
Sorry, Badman. We didn't mean to cuss you for an Aussie.
Yeah, that was down a few pegs. I really sold you short there, Badman. I don't mean to offend you.
So
all the Australians are still asleep, so we can insult them.
Yeah. I think Angelus has a hard time getting here when it's real early like this. So you know, I kind of like to do it somewhat earlier on some streams because Matu and Channel, they have a hard, you know, they have to stay up super duper late, you know, if so, you know, it's kind of a balancing act, I guess, you know. So
well, I'd hate to wake up freaking early.
Yeah, maybe in the future I should do it at 3:30, right? My time, you know, half past the hour. Yeah, that way it'll be a balance.
Particularly bad because of the time changes. Australia, like, we're so separate now. We've got in a few months it will change again, and it will be much easier.
Well, I think Australia is all on standard time now, so you know, only us.
Yeah.
Only us Amis are the only people that are on daylight time. Well, I guess you Brits are on daylight time, aren't you? So
we're on British summertime, yeah. So it's like light until like 10 p.m.
Yes, indeed. So,
we're having such gorgeous weather. It's been amazing because we just never get. Now we've had a couple days, and we're just so appreciative of it. I posted some pictures of my walk the other day.
Yes, yes.
And it's just like, but obviously the rain's coming back again on Mondays for the rest of the week.
Well, doesn't it rain in England a lot?
Exactly. It's been raining constantly for years now, Creaky. I've been moaning about it constantly. But yeah, we've had a few days of sunshine, and it's been amazing. But we're going back to rain again. That's all we get. That'll be it for summer.
Yeah, I remember back in 2017, I had a business trip there in England. I was staying down on Fleet Street. I don't know if you know where that is. And then I had to teach a class at a client's, and you know, it's funny. It rained the second day I was there because I was only there for 2 days, you know, but it rained the second day I was there, and you know, I guess my point of contact there, you know, she said something like, well, how's it going, our Gary, is what she called me, you know. And I said, well, it's a lovely day for ducks, you know. So she got a big kick out of that, you know. Yes, that's right. And from Fountain, Colorado, we got Lee. How's it going, Lee?
Hey, not too bad. How you guys?
Hey,
real good. So
yeah, I misread the time, and
oh, that's all right. Yeah, well, I'm going to have to settle on one time. I don't like to, you know, force Matu and Channel to stay up super duper late, but Angelus has to get up super duper early. So I guess what I'm going to start doing is splitting the difference and doing it at 3:30 our time, you know, here. That'll be a half hour later. That won't hopefully be too late for Matu and Channel. And it won't be, you know, too early or not so early.
Does Angelus know you're expecting him to come on every morning?
I'm sorry?
And then does Angelus know that you're expecting him to come on every stream?
Yeah. Plus, he also
what does he say when he doesn't show up?
Well, he also has a weird schedule too. So I mean, that
is he not just working a lot?
Yes, he does work a lot. So. He's not lucky like the Creek. I work from home, so you know.
That's what puts me off being a host. I never know if I'm going to be definitely free.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, yeah, Rosa, we want to give this to you because the Alita Army really loves Rosa. We definitely want her to have this as a, you know, we want to express ourselves to her for our admiration and our appreciation for her, and we want her to know we think she's great. You know, she may know that already, but you know, it's
the next time she gets interviewed, she's probably going to like either break our hearts or like give us.
Well, we don't want to break her heart.
No, I mean, she must have heard something by now. She's going to get asked about it. So,
well, maybe she doesn't know about it. You know, I mean, I just
wonder what she's going to say if it all went tits up.
Yes. I see we have a user out there named Kleber Renato. How's it going, Kleber? Good to see you on the stream.
Are they pink rubber gloves he's waving at us?
Yeah, pink gloves. Yeah, cool.
I was trying to figure out what they actually were.
Yeah. Just saying hi, I think. Okay, before we get into the main topic, I guess we want to remind that, you know, this Alita sequel petition is still active, and we added 7 signatures since last week. I went back and looked at it this time just so I know exactly how many signatures. And, you know, you might say, well, that is sure not a lot. It's only 1 a day or something like that. But, you know, it keeps going up every week. So it's not, you know, it's not dead, you know, and there's a lot of signatures, 178,000 signatures. That's a lot, you know. So hopefully Disney will see this. I've been tweeting this out and the Hero Arm campaign. I've been tweeting that and get folks to sign the petition and possibly donate to the Hero Arm campaign. But anyway, this one here, you want to click on that, what the link that you see there below the image on your screen. And this link is actually down in the description below the screen. So you can click on that. If you haven't signed the petition, please go sign it. And let's let Disney, or remind Disney, that I'm sure Disney knows, since I know that Tony Hughes and I and others have been, you know, like Turlo Dorman and us, they see these tweets because we tag them. You know, now the people in the, I guess in the social media monitoring group probably see it, and it probably doesn't go beyond them, but you know, but somebody at Disney knows, you know, that we're doing this for sure, you know. So anyway, if you haven't signed a petition, please do so. And the Hero Arm campaign, we haven't had any money in this for a couple of weeks, but basically we got something like $5,200 and nearly $5,250 or something like that in the bank. So, you know, we have a little bit of money in the bank, you know, and we don't have any real expenditures. So, I mean, it keeps going up. So eventually we're going to get this thing up to about 13,000 is what we need for the Hero Arm, you know, but as soon as it gets sort of close to it, I guess Alita Rave and I are going to throw some money in it, you know, and pull it over the top, you know, eventually, you know, so we'll get there. You know, we're going to get there for sure, you know.
Yeah, isn't the money from the banner that we're going to do going to that as well?
Yeah, the money for the banners, you know, we got like a $1,020 refund for the banner. So, you know, that's part of the 5,250 or 45 or whatever it is, somewhere in that area, you know. So okay. It's we got money. We're not broke, you know. So anyway, no, I guess no amount's too small to donate. You see a link there. I guess that's the GoFundMe page. But if you find that a little intimidating, there's a tip jar down there as well. You can click on that and, you know, donate to the Hero Arm campaign. And if you can't donate, then, you know, just retweet this when you see it, because I have the last few days been tweeting this out. So if you see that on X, you know, or as Vladi likes to call it, and like we should really call it all the time, is Twitter.
Yeah, because a lot of people do.
Yeah, I still call it Twitter. Yeah. So anyway,
X is such a bad name. We just go back.
Yeah. Thanks, Elon. Yes, exactly. Okay, let's get
here. The new Apes movie. The villain was like based on Elon Musk, I think they said.
Oh God Almighty! Don't start me on the ape movie. That we don't need another ape movie.
No, Creaky. We need endless apes movies, and we don't need anything new. We need another Gollum. We need another load of movies about Gollum. That's the CGI character our culture wants now. This
well, I do like Andy Serkis.
We don't want this. And the beautiful angel Alita.
Yeah.
I give up on this planet.
Vladi, we've been having ape movies since the 70s, and I'm tired of it. You know.
Tell me about it. Your whole life, Creaky. Your whole life. And mine. Yeah. But yours is so long.
Well, I've been seeing ape movies ever since.
It's black and white TV.
Heston and Roddy McDowell were in the damn thing back in the 70s. So
yeah, you know, the new one's meant to be okay. Critics are raving about it, so I'm sure it's like fine.
All right. So anyway, if that is what it is, so you know, I haven't been on Mr. H reviews lately too. I've been working pretty hard this week, so you know, I haven't had a chance to get on there. I know Charlie Smith he always sends me a
DM
saying Mr. H Reviews is on live, you know, and a couple of times he's done that, and I've been in meetings, so I haven't been able to get in them, you know. But
yeah, I wouldn't worry about that.
Well, I you know, I don't agree with everything he says, but I think basically he's okay in my book. I mean, you know, he really doesn't like what Disney's doing right now. Him and the three guys, you know, that are on his panel, they really don't like it.
Rightfully so. I don't know why anyone would like what Disney are doing if you like care about
I
cinema
don't think,
or not.
yeah.
It's just everyone's just like in the media is just a bunch of shills and stuff.
Yeah, and I see that Disney stock is going back down again. It's down to 105 or something like that. It was up to 119, so now it's plummeting again. So,
well, the Apes movie looks like it's going to do like okay in America. It's not doing well in China. But I don't know. Some people say when I'm like, oh, they should have chosen Alita instead of Apes because like everyone wanted a continue. It's just started, whereas Apes, they just had like a trilogy and it was really good and it was a complete thing. Why would you not carry on Alita?
Is Apes, is that Disney?
Yeah, well, they bought it for Fox and they greenlit it after. So it was obviously like they were thinking about what franchises we mine, as Eager puts it. And obviously they were like, oh, Apes, that's made loads of money over the years and stuff. So we'll go for that ahead of Alita. Because they're a bunch of like cowards, basically.
Well, I mean, you know, if they're hopefully they keep releasing the Fox IPs, and hopefully that they will eventually, you know, come up with Alita. You know, I mean, it's a shame that yeah.
That just had a fucking completed trilogy as well. Like, what are they taking the piss?
All right, well, let's get on to the main topic here. The producer wants to get to the main topic. So so anyway, what we're going to talk about here is a little bit different than we've talked about in the past, you know, because we've talked about, you know, Alita as a cyborg warrior and as a, you know, having the same qualities as a superhero. And even though she's not a superhero, but she does have the abilities of a superhero, that's for sure, you know. And, you know, we've kind of had a couple of streams on that, maybe 3, you know, but here we really want to see how her cybernetic enhancements really shapes, you know, her personality, you know, how it plays into the relationships that she has with others. And here are some of those enhancements. And you guys can kick in anytime you want. You can interrupt me. You're not going to hurt my feelings, for sure.
It's fascinating too, because like it's like a window into our future. Eventually, we're going to have this kind of relationship with technology. So seeing it through Alita is just like incredible.
Well, we're already starting to see some of that now, aren't we? I mean,
Tilly Luffy and everything.
You know, they're coming up with
people who are cyber enhanced.
Yeah. Well, think about this. I mean, you know, it's like we already have artificial hearts. We have they're already coming up with artificial eyes, you know, cyber eyes. They, you know, I mean, Maxie and I have talked about that. And you know, and they've got prosthetic arms, you know, that I've seen some stuff on YouTube where they're just starting now to physically connect it to nerve endings, as opposed to like, you know, what Tilly has to do. She has to flex muscles, you know, to move her hands, you know. Well, that'd be cool if Tilly got one of those arms, you know, where she could actually use it kind of like you would a hand instead of flexing a muscle a certain way, you know. So that'd be kind of neat.
We're still in quite a rudimentary phase right now.
Yeah, we're in a very early.
We'll get there. And you do see the odd articles coming out saying, "Oh, they've made the first like thing that's like connected to the muscles and stuff." So they are doing this. It's just like not mass. Like you couldn't do that. Like
we couldn't do it 10 years ago. I mean, you know, we lost Vladi. Something happened to him there. Maybe Disney yeeted him off the channel, although what do you think?
Possible.
Yeah.
Past him.
Yeah, I don't think so. They don't have control of the channel. So anyway, like we said, we're already started in this direction here. You know what I bet he was? I bet he was on his tablet and his tablet ran out of juice. That's probably what happened.
Oh, his stream never died for some reason.
Yeah, because he likes to be on his tablet when he gets on the stream, you know.
Well, he's
no,
saying
his
here the
StreamYard
stream.
died. Yeah, holy moly. Well, Vladi, you can get back on if you get on your laptop or something like that. We can get you back in if you want. Well, here are the big ticket items for Alita's cybernetic enhancements. Of course, she can, pretty much her core can go into damn near any body. I mean, she's, oh, there he is. There he is.
Yeah,
we thought Disney might have kicked you out there, Vladi.
They finally got me. No, I don't know what happened there. Just StreamYard said it stopped working or something.
Wow.
I
promise you, Vladi, I didn't kick you out. That's for sure.
Yeah, for droning on too long.
No, it's okay. But anyway, here's here's the enhancements, and you guys, like I say, you can interrupt me anytime you want. He has a European issue, yes, Mendrick. So, but Alita has certainly, as I was saying, her core can pretty much interface with any body, cyborg or cybernetic body, and particularly in that berserker body, her core is specifically designed for the berserker body because she was in the ERM, at least in the movie, she was in the ERM military. In the manga, she's more of a mercenary or a special ops, I guess, something like that. But that berserker body is specifically designed for her core, so to hook up to it. And probably Ito had to put a lot of, what would you call them, adapters, I guess, when she was in the doll body, because her core is not specifically designed for the doll body, but...
Yeah, I would imagine the interface required some modification.
Yeah, he probably had to really jury rig that thing, didn't he? So, yeah, he probably did, what's a bad man saying that we still need interface technology, bidirectional signal transfers yet between electrical data bus and human nervous system. Exactly. Yeah, they are starting to do something like that now, bad man. I think... I've seen, like, say, videos on YouTube where they've got some very rudimentary connectivity to that, where the person could use it without specifically flexing a muscle like they would on a prosthetic limb, So, launching ECM strikes against Vladi. Yeah, you see that, Vladi? Disney's after you.
Obviously, yeah. They're just waiting for their time to strike. Well, they're slowly whittling down me with demoralization tactics.
But anyway, Alita, her berserker body is pretty advanced. It's much, even though that body was in the movie was 300 years old, compared to the cyborgs that were in Iron City, she's far advanced over them. I mean, there's
completely different level.
Yeah, exactly. She's like orders of magnitude more advanced than they are, and her Imaginos body, which is only in the manga, and hopefully we get to see that in the sequels, particularly towards, say, the end of Alita 3. We might see the Imaginos body, but that thing is, the berserker body has that adaptive technology. You remember Ito said that the adaptive technology is something he's never seen. Well, the Imaginos body is even much more advanced than the berserker body, so she's got a lot more capability there, and there's something keen about the Imaginos body that we can talk about that kind of fits into her relationships, with humans, particularly, lovers.
Sorry, can we just clarify something? You say the Imaginos body is way more advanced than the berserker body.
Yes.
What do you mean in terms of like power and strength specifically? Or do you mean also in terms of like human touch and feelings? That's an extremely important part of relationships.
Well, I imagine the touching
is that even in your thinking?
Well, I imagine touching her sensory organs and stuff like that are probably pretty similar, but her Imaginos body, I mean, she's damn near a shapeshifter in that thing. I mean, she's it's pretty unbelievable. And
yeah. What does she feel, Creaky? What does she feel? Does she feel a tingling like when someone touches her arm? You know what I mean?
It probably feels
when the berserker body, when she was with Hugo on the bridge.
Well, it's probably similar to the Berserker body in that regard, because the Berserker, the Imagino cells, you know, themselves were based on the Berserker cells. I mean, they're more advanced, but they're similar in a lot of ways. So she probably has a similar kind of sense
probably
of
extra
touch,
sensitive then.
Yeah, you know, somewhat, you know, and what is this here? There might be disrupted geomagnetic zone because of coronal mass ejections the other day. Yes, that's right.
Oh, is that the sun spitting out
That's
fire?
the sunburst. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think this year the sun's activity, what's every 11 years or something like that, it kind of kicks into higher gear, you know. So anyway, that's another story. But yeah, the Imaginos body is in that regard, her sense of touch, her sense of taste and stuff like that. And certainly her eyesight's going to be the same, pretty close to the same, I would guess, you know, although, yeah, she does have a brain chip in the Imaginos body. So I don't know, there may be some, you know, kind of,
I hate that. I hope Cameron completely changes that. No, wait,
well,
I need to actually read it. Sorry.
Well, she'll still be Alita. She'll still be Alita, you know. Yeah, Bad Man, just to go back to what he was saying there, that, yeah, we're starting a new 11-year cycle. Yeah, when I was in college, which, yes, Vladi, was a long time ago, for a while, I was a pre-engineering and physics major, so I know a little bit about that. And let's see, Imaginos body improvement of Berserker is based on the same kind of technology. That's right. Imaginos functions like a biological body. That's right. And that's one of the things that's important when we talk about her relationships with prospective lovers. You know, I mean, if she wanted to have kids, let's say, she can't do it in the Berserker body. The Imaginos body, yeah, she may be able to do it in the Imaginos body. You know, so
amazing.
Anyway, yeah. And like I say, she has a brain chip in the Imaginos body. And of course, that gives her, you know, the human mind is pretty fast and all that. But I would imagine that, you know, 540 years in the future, you know, kind of computer chips, I guess, for like CPUs, if you want to call them that, processing units, you know, they're probably going to be much, much faster than they are today, you know. So who knows? It might be that her olfactory perceptions, well, it has to be, because if in the Imaginos body, being able to run near the speed of light, you know, you've got to have ridiculously fast reflexes. That means your eyes have got to see it and your brain's got to process it in such a way that you don't run through a building, let's say, or something like that, you know. Whereas the Berserker body is just her brain, you know, and which is pretty cool. Her brain is, but you know, it's probably not going to be as fast as that brain chip, you know, in terms of processing speed, you know. She does have the antimatter microreactor heart, but I think that's only in the Berserker body. I'm not sure that's in the Imaginos body, because that got her when she was in the Tuned program, I think she probably still had that antimatter microreactor heart. But remember, at the end of the original manga, just before you go into Last Order, she got blown up by the baby bomb, you know, or the doll bomb, or whatever you want to call it. And it might have destroyed the antimatter microreactor heart. Not sure about that, you know, and I don't recall Kashiro having anything specific about that. Probably Badman or Spendrick, you guys out there, or Lee or Matu, you guys are pretty smart on the manga. If you remember, if that antimatter microreactor heart was preserved and maybe survived the blast or what, I'm not sure about that.
In the manga, from what I remember, there were no real question of her heart. The only time her heart was shown and mentioned was against the arm wrestling against Jashugan, but that is literally all. It was more question of her brain in the manga, not her heart.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you know, I just. Yeah, there's really no specific mention of it, what kind of heart she has, from what I remember. But, you know,
some of the technology seemed to be pretty vaguely laid out.
Yeah, and as a Badman points out, I don't think the antimatter microreactor heart is even in the manga. It might, you know, I don't know. I don't recall seeing anything specifically
No.
mentioned about it. So
Absolutely not.
yeah. And of course, Alita has that plasma weapon. She has that, definitely has that in the Berserker body, and even in her motorball body. You see there on the right. I'm not sure it's active in her civilian body. It might be. In her tuned body, I don't know if it's active in that or not. But in the Imaginos body, it definitely is. So, but anyway, that's kind of what I've got, what I can remember about her cybernetic enhancements. Of course, the fact that she is a cyborg is a except in the Imaginos body, she's an android in the Imaginos body. But anything else you guys can think of in terms of her cybernetic enhancements that might play a role in any kind of relationship she'd have with a human being or even another cyborg for that matter?
The most obvious I can think of, to me anyway, is her brain implants. Anytime you put something in the brain, unless you take some steps to prevent it, it seems like it's going to have some kind of altering effect, even if real minor, on brain's chemistry.
Okay.
But as far as that goes, her other stuff, I mean, if it were anybody else, I would have a really cynical view of how the amount of power she gets affects her personality, because I've watched people in real life become real
yeah,
well, no real polite way
what's
of putting it, real
the
pieces of
phrase?
shit.
Yeah, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
She doesn't seem to really get corrupted by the power she gains as
that's
such.
right.
Certainly not to the degree other people do.
Yeah.
She seems to have other problems that she deals with.
Yeah. That a lot of other humans would have, right? I mean, yeah, go ahead, Vladi. I'm sorry.
Like Edo said, that body's not bad or good. It's up to you. I forgot the exact line now.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, I agree, bad man. I don't think her civilian body or toon body had the plasma weapon either. So, you know.
Yeah, they didn't look like there was anything like that in either of those two bodies.
Now, her tuned body was pretty damn powerful. I mean, it had super duper strength like she had in the Berserker body, you know. I mean, she was just didn't have the plasma weapon, you know, but it was on a lot of other scales. It was similar to the Berserker body, I suppose, you know. They don't go a lot into the connectivity of Alita's brain or her brain chip in the Imaginos body with the rest of her body in the manga, do they? Not like they did in the movie anyway. So maybe Cameron and Rodriguez and Lita Calligridis felt the need that they had to give it some foundation, you know, so people could, so they could suspend their disbelief, you know, that but cyborgs can walk around like this, I guess.
They made the body so important to Alita's story in the movie. It was so like emotionally important, and it added a lot for me.
Yes,
because it changes completely how you interact with the world when you have all this strength. You don't have like human skin. You're just completely different. Like you get discriminated against, called a hard body and stuff.
Yeah,
like bigots like Tanji.
There was also some hinting of that in the novelization for the movie, when Alita said as she was walking along after she got her berserker, she was looking for Hugo, and the crowds around her reacted differently. They didn't, they moved out of her way more easily. Even if on a subconscious level, people saw her as more powerful.
Yeah. Well, it'd be like anybody, like you saw, say, some big dude, you know, walking down the street, you'd probably subconsciously feel uncomfortable around them, you know,
or be more aware of them, because like,
exactly,
that's somebody I don't want to necessarily mess with, or be more inclined to observe my distance from him or something.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with you, bad man. That tuned body was probably similar to the original military body she had on Mars before they put her in the Berserker body. Remember, she was in like a titanium kind of composite body for training, you know, before she got put in the Berserker body, at least in the backstory for the movie. When she was 17, I guess they put her in the Berserker, but the put her in the Berserker body. So, those two bodies were probably similar, but yeah, it's not. I don't think the Toon body is the same, has the same capability as a berserker body does, for sure, you know.
You also have to
the plasma capabilities in the berserker body would be great for a barbecue.
Could also be really bad too.
Exactly.
If you're not good at,
You could overdo it, couldn't you?
Oh, easily. Turn your baby back ribs into baby back ash.
Yeah, that's right. Although she seemed to have control of it, didn't she? Pretty good,
Well,
even though, you know,
in the movie, she had some basic control over it. I mean,
yeah,
she was able to generate them, but I don't think she really overdid it necessarily. She wasn't creating blasts or large fans of flame or anything.
She had the dexterity to just make it like come up and then come out of the top of her hand. So she obviously instantly has loads of control of it, just like feeling it naturally, because it's just part of who she is.
Don't use a plasma weapon to remove cobwebs in your house. That's right, you burn the house down. So yeah, you know what I think may happen in Alita too is that she'll probably learn more about how to regulate her plasma weapon in Alita 2. Because you know,
I would imagine she'll learn how to become more controlling of it, or start able to do maybe some, you know, interesting combat maneuvers with it that you don't see in the first one.
And she'll be able to control the heat, you know, in such a way where she could only maybe have it come out at 1500 degrees or something Fahrenheit, and then maybe if she really gets pissed and absolutely has to have a real powerful weapon, maybe jack that thing up to like 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit or something like that, you know. So who knows? We'll see. But is there anything else you can see up there that's not up there, rather, in terms of her cybernetic
enhancements? In terms of her actual physical cybernetic enhancements?
Say again, Blotty?
All I think of is just her bodies. She's just got her bodies and all the functions that they have, and how much they can replicate human feelings. That's kind of what level I'm thinking at.
Well, all three of those bodies on the screen there are really beautiful, aren't they? I mean, they're
for sure. Obviously, they also have different social cues too, obviously, because one's more mature than the other.
Yeah. Well, certainly the berserker and the motorball
how she
body
interacts with relationships as well. It's when she switches between the bodies.
Exactly. You know, like, well, you could see it in Hugo, right? I mean, when she was in the doll body, I mean, he thought she was cute, but you know,
he was like, yes, finally.
13 or 14-year-old, but in that berserker body, it was like, whoa.
Finally, you've got a real woman's body.
Yeah, that's right. So, you know, a big difference, I guess, you know. So
a little doll's body.
Yeah. And I guess that motorball body would be something akin to like a weightlifter, you know, as opposed to someone who's a bodybuilder, you know, like they're two different things, you know, power lifter rather than a bodybuilder are two different things. You know, the bodies are different. I would say that probably the berserker body would be more like an analog to a bodybuilder, perhaps. And not a bodybuilder for huge muscles, but just a bodybuilder for very toned, you know, very athletic.
I wouldn't even go as far as bodybuilder necessarily.
Yeah, probably not. More athletic.
I'd just say a toned, athletic, really toned body.
Yeah. Whereas the motorball body is more like a professional sports.
Her muscles aren't bulging out. You know what I mean?
Yes. Well, they don't have to in a cyborg. I mean, because, you know, the materials you use, you don't have to have 22-inch guns, you know, to be able to lift something heavy, you know. I mean,
it just depends on the power of the systems in the arm.
Yes, that's right.
What it's made of.
All the like muscle fibers and stuff, it's really just aesthetic. Like it could look like anything, but that's just the design they went for because it looks so sleek and it makes the human body look so powerful and it's all its shiny elegance.
Yes. Well, Badman brings up a good point. Turning that plasma weapon on and off is pretty easy, but learning how to use transducers in it, you know, that's going to be harder, you know, and that's what I think we'll see in Alita 2. I think we'll see her evolve more.
And it's basically what I was trying to refer to is, you know, her using her electromagnetic systems to manipulate the plasma fire.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think she'll learn it, and, you know, it'll be almost like a show of her maturity too, you know, I think. But I know one thing that,
possibly even her regaining some of her memories as well.
Yeah, for sure. You know, yep. But I know one characteristic of her that really got the creek was when she first opens her eyes and you see those big irises. Now, a lot of people got freaked out about that, but I remember I thought how pretty they were, you know, when I first saw them, you know, I went, wow, that is so pretty, you know. That was my kind of reaction. Yeah. And her eyes, you know, are, I mean, that they, you know, I know in a lot of cases in the manga or say in anime where those characters have big eyes, that it's meant to foster trust, I guess, is because you see
sort of an emotional connection of some kind.
Yeah, that's right. Let's see. We need Alita sequels to go in last order so we can see the Ultimate Extreme Punch. Yes. The Ultimate Extreme Punch is a pretty badass.
Ultra Extreme Punch. Actually.
Yeah. Did I say Ultimate? I meant Ultra. Yeah, that's right. I guess that's akin to the Infinite Mass Punch, although it wouldn't be Infinite Mass, you know, that the Flash and Superman can do. They can do an Infinite Mass Punch, you know. So, but the Ultra Extreme Punch would be pretty badass, you know. And in Imagino's body, if she can move near the speed of light, she could probably come close to doing an Infinite Mass Punch, you know, for sure, you know. But anyway, one of the things about her cybernetics is that they are not human. The cybernetics themselves, she is a human. I think even in her Imaginos body, even though she's an android, she retains all of her human qualities, you know. That's why we always say that even in the Imaginos body, Alita's still human, you know, because that is just her personality, her mental makeup, you know. The motorball body is good for shopping because you carry heavy bags and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, you can do that in the Berserker body too, you know. I mean, yeah.
If I get tired on a walk, she could just carry me on her back and be no problem.
Yeah.
Thanks, Alita.
Yeah. Anything else about any cybernetic enhancements, guys, that you can think of, like maybe her hearing or reflex? Well, that's not enhancement, but yeah, I guess her reflexes would be an enhancement.
Yeah, when you're moving much faster than everybody else around you, unless you can somehow adjust how you're seeing the world around you, it can be, I imagine you can start getting impatient with how slow everybody else is.
Yeah. Well, I know I calculated her reflexes, you know, when that one Centurion fired that bullet at her and she deflected it. I mean, she had to have reflexes faster than 40 milliseconds to do that, you know, because that bullet was probably traveling. Well, they don't tell you what kind of gun that was, but if it's similar to the Gal 19, it travels at 2,910 feet per second. You know, that's and it goes 30 feet. You know, you can figure out what the milliseconds are, but she has to be faster than that to deflect it, because if it's equal to that, then she's not going to deflect it. You know, so it has to be probably, you know, half, you know, is got to be twice as fast as the bullet.
There might also be an aspect of the Berserker body that works with her core, that the system itself is anticipating some of the threats.
Yeah, that's right. So it's like an unconscious reaction, right?
Yeah,
possibly.
Yeah. And if you remember in the novelization where they talked about the musician who had that, it was in the prequel. Did you read the prequel novelization?
No, I haven't read the prequel novelization.
They had the musician who was testing Ido's new chip, and the chip was playing ahead of the musician, so it was kind of like messing up his playing because it wanted to like carry on, because a lot of music happens on instinct, right? You learn everything by muscle memory and stuff.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that kind of goes to that sort of theme as well.
Yeah, her eyesight
in
is
terms of like
and hearing.
in working on instinct. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, her eyesight's definitely better than humans because she's got
definitely
bigger irises and bigger
especially if you go off that one Reddit post, the guy who did some of the science behind the advanced optics that we've got coming out.
Yeah,
it's her eyesight is leagues better than a human's.
Yeah, she not only can see in the dark, but her her being able to track fast moving objects,
which is really important when you're got a fast moving body.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, that's pretty right on there, Bad Man.
And if your enemy is also fast moving cyborgs,
yes,
you gotta keep up with what's going on around you.
Yeah.
Yep.
One thing I kind of also thought about too was her amount of strength and resilience. Unless she kept a certain level of empathy, it's easy to forget just how fragile everybody around you is.
Mm-hmm.
And that can lead to some problems too, unless you keep that in mind somehow.
Well, she probably has a really granular sense of dexterity or feeling for touch, because, you know, if she didn't, with the amount of strength she has, you know, in the berserker body, well, even in the doll body, she's got ridiculous strength. I mean, it's not like the berserker body, but in the berserker body, you know, she could
I don't think
shake
she
her
had
hand and just crush your hand, you know?
Yeah, I don't think she had ridiculous amounts of strength in the doll body, but I think she had a significant amount, and that was augmented by her combat skills.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, like even Nova said through Gruishka when they were talking in the lab. So it wasn't the strength of the body, but the power of the mind.
Power of the mind. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she knew how to focus her blows to do as much damage as possible, regardless of the amount of strength she had.
And we lost poor old Vladi again. I guess Disney's still after him. So
I would imagine she wouldn't need sunglasses even on Earth, because I have a feeling her large pupils, I mean, like everything else, I imagine that there are controls and step down features to allow the heightened capabilities to step in when needed.
Yeah.
And then they're put on the back burner when no longer required.
Well, the thing of it is too, is her eyes are actually synthetic too, aren't they? They're not
they're fully, everything about her except her brain's synthetic.
It's synthetic. That's exactly right. So
I mean, they've got things in the Cyberpunk tabletop RPG that I have been looking at integrating into my story, because they just make so much sense. Like if you've got a night vision system.
What was that, Matthew?
I'm very interested in what you're saying.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, her like in the Cyberpunk optical. In the Cyberpunk RPG, the optics, some of them have night vision capabilities, and the night vision capabilities use like low light amplification. Well, if you get hit with a flashlight or something like that with that, it can cause you some problems. So they have an automatic safety feature called an anti-dazzle system, which is a step-down feature that immediately steps in to protect sensitive optics. They also have things like pain editors that when a pain signal reaches a certain threshold, it either stops it or cuts it off completely before it becomes debilitating.
Well, with her reflexes being as fast as they are, you can imagine that the protective features that she has on her eyesight are probably at least as fast. So it should be milliseconds. If a bright light, if she was like her pupils were wide open, you know, because it was dark, and she got hit with a bright light, probably within, you know, just a couple of milliseconds, her pupils would be
in the tabletop RPG, at least, they tended to be very fast in the highest quality military grade cyberware. There was also the fact that the enhanced wired reflexes that enhanced your reflex speed. A lot of that was also limited by whether or not you were in combat, as just a general safety feature. Once your adrenaline or your mental state hit a certain sort of altered in a certain way based on whether or not you were in a fight or flight situation, then they would step in. Otherwise, they didn't. So you tended to have a relatively normal reflex speed to be able to interact with the with the world around you in a more human level capability.
Okay, well, I think we kind of hit that one pretty hard, so I kind of want to move on to our relationships.
Off there again. I think it might be because I've got a new broadband provider. Maybe it's like, hopefully it's not going to be a regular thing.
Hopefully they're not backed by Disney.
Yeah, hopefully not. Yeah.
I've switched browser as well. Now I'm on Bing instead of Chrome. Chrome has had some issues with StreamYard lately.
I stopped using Chrome a while ago because I was having problems with them.
Yeah,
I use Chrome. I've never had any problems with it. So
well, it might depend on your setup too.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, I'm talking about Android as well. I use Chrome on my PC, and I always use Chrome on this. I don't know, but it just had some problems with StreamYard for me before. Well, there was an echo, I think. But it's more likely the internet dropping off. But I don't know. So hard to know.
Well, anyway, just keep hanging in there, Vladdy, as they would say.
Oh, well, I'll come back in as soon as I can if I drop off again.
Now, there are a lot of characters in the manga, certainly, and in the movie, there's not as many, obviously, but, you know, and what I've basically done is probably the most positive. Now, people would say, well, maybe Nova's not so positive, but there are periods of time in the manga when he actually helps Alita, you know. And Joshigan, you know, he's of course a competitor, but he doesn't really have any real hatred for Alita or anything like that. He's just a competitor. And of course, when she's in the Ouroboros, I guess she has a vision of him that she needed to see him and talk to him and ask him, you know, why did you die? You know, because I could have learned so much from you and stuff like that.
There's a mutual respect between those two.
Yes. And he basically says that, you know, you're achieving everything I think you can, and you're doing very well, basically. And of course, then, you know, it moves on to the next, whatever the next thing was, you know, I don't remember, but but I know with Figure 4, their relationship started out really contentious. You know, I mean, you know, he really, I mean, not that he hated her, but, you know, it was kind of like, it was combative. You know, it was like
they rubbed each other the wrong way.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what I was looking for, you know, because they fought each other in the desert, and she kicked the shit out of him. It's funny reading that, because everything he tried just didn't come close to working at all. You know, and but, you know, I mean, in that relationship, her being a cyborg didn't affect his feelings for, because eventually, even though they started out really contentious, you know, yeah, they got off on the wrong foot. That's exactly right, you know. But even though they did, they gradually came together. What was that, Vladdy?
That's how all the best relationships start.
Yeah, you know, that's
well, in literature, maybe, yeah,
in literature, obviously, yeah. In movies, obviously, I mean,
yeah, in movies as well, yeah. But certainly, I think, you know, Figure 4, I think she was, you know, when I was reading through it, I thought, well, wow, that's the guy for her right there, you know, that guy, you know, as opposed to Hugo, which of course I know a lot of people in the Alita Army just love Hugo. And, you know, my feelings about Hugo have evolved over time, you know, but, you know, I think, you know, particularly in the manga, he's just a little shit, is what he is. And he really didn't come to the conclusion that, hey, he had a really good thing in Alita, you know.
I like the movie version of Hugo much better than the manga version.
Although that version, I didn't like him that much. I hadn't read the manga when I saw the movie.
Well, that's the thing. Having read the manga before having seen the movie, although it was years and years before then, I wasn't expecting to like Hugo as much as I ended up liking him towards the end of the movie.
Yeah. But, you know, even in the movie, you know, the fact that he jacked Kanuba, got those grind cutters over to Shirin to put on Grishka, which cut Alita to bits. And he saw the result of that. And of course, he probably felt bad about it. But then he goes right back to Vector, who he knows was at the top of that, you know, and strikes a deal with him, you know, to go to, you know, I mean, I thought, you little shit, you know, that's what I thought when I first
that's
saw
one of the things
movie.
I have tried to keep in mind when writing my stories. Like, there's a lot of mindset to people who grow up in a world like that.
Yeah.
That is just the way the world works. And you have to deal with the way the world works. You've got no choice in the matter. I mean, for us growing up where we have, in the way, you know, with the kind of upbringings we've had, we can see things a lot differently. But when someone's entire life is surrounded by that kind of thing, their mindset's not going to match up to ours.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's something I've always tried to keep in mind with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, you know, because that is a pretty serious, you know, certainly dystopian, you know, kind of an environment, you know, and it's, you know, survive or die, you know, it's either, you know, do what you got to do or you're going to die, you know, basically. So, because there's no safety net, you know, in Iron City, as they would say, you know, so.
And that's one of the things I kept as a worry for Jason in my story too. Being one of the safety nets I've got, I have Social Security disability, and I've got veterans disability. So even though I'm not really able to work, I can still have a roof over my head and food on the table. In Iron City, Jason has none of that, except because of Ito. It's because Ito, you know, gave him a place to stay, that he's not homeless on the street.
Yeah, he was. That's right. Jason was a kind of a, I guess he was kind of a medical retiree type guy, wasn't he, or something like that, Leah, from what I remember. So yeah, he was getting a kind of maybe some sort of pension, you know, medical pension, and then all of a sudden
he was also living with his fiancee too. They were going to get ready to marry. So you know, there was a lot of help there that he had before ending up in Iron City, and Iron City has none of those safety nets.
Yeah.
So if Ito had decided that Jason was going to be treated and then dumped out in the street, well, Jason's on his own. He ain't got no place to stay. He's got no way of getting food. That's it.
Yeah.
Damn bad, man. Is Toronto more dangerous than Iron City? Wow.
Keep in mind, the news has, especially here in the United States, they've got this motto: if it bleeds, it leads.
Yeah. Well,
so
they also
worst
say
news will get the most exposure, because
they also
that
say
makes them money.
My brother is also, he was, you know, he worked for Channel 4 News up here. And I think down in Colorado Springs, he worked at Channel 13 as well, KRDO. And he would say that, you know, a lot, and he shot a lot of national stories too for ABC, NBC, CBS. You know, he even did a thing for Oprah Winfrey once and stuff like that. But he said that one of the axioms, I guess, amongst journalists is if you can't find controversy, create it. You know, so that's
because the news service, it's a business. It's about making money. So they're going to show whatever news is going to bring in the most advertising dollars.
That's why I kind of stopped watching most news. I mean, you still got to watch some, you know, because you got to stay informed to some degree. But God, it's really tiresome watching, especially cable news. It's really depressing. It's just really tiresome. You know, so
I don't even watch cable news or any of the mainstream news services anymore. They've lied to me too many times.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're back to this, I guess. And then, of course, Ito in the manga, that relationship with Alita starts out a little creepy, I guess, in some ways. But then, of course, it's more of a father figure after that, and especially in the movie, of course, it's always a father figure, you know. Bad man, I think I agree with this. Yes, I think I do. So
marginally, but how marginally?
Yeah, that's right. So it is what it is.
Not great everywhere.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, her relationship with Ito is kind of the basis for it is her cybernetics, isn't it? I mean, because he finds her in the scrapyard.
And being a cyberdoc, he puts her new body together.
Yeah,
he's almost her like creator in a way.
Yeah. So I mean,
that's why I think it kind of fits with what the movie did. He's kind of her father. He put
They
emphasized the father figure side of it, and they made him not over like a weirdo.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I could kind of overlook him being a little weird in the scrapyard in the manga, because, well, the scrapyard being the kind of shithole that it is, it's going to give rise to people being a little twisted, because it's a twisted environment that's going to alter people. I mean, he even says that in the movie. It's like the Iron City, it makes people do terrible things to each other just to survive.
Yeah, it even corrupts the good people. The city corrupts even good people or something like that. Yeah. So anyway, but Ito, I think her relationship with him, her cybernetics is actually a major part of her relationship with him. Now, I agree with you. I don't think it's the only thing or the most important even, because you know, I really like that scene where she says, "Thank you, Father." You know, that right there, that really tugs at your heart. You know, it does. You know, so she realizes at that point, and this is a point where her maturity level kind of takes a giant leap. You know, so I think, you know, she's really, you could see that relationship being actually starting out as mostly cybernetic because he rebuilds her, but you know, her recognizing him as a father figure is
of course, and obviously it happens very quickly because he's instantly attached to her just because of his loss of his daughter.
Yeah, well, you remember what he said when he saw her when she was in REM sleep, when she was on his table the first time. I mean, what are you dreaming, little angel? I mean, he kind of
was almost talking to his dead daughter at that point, you could say.
Well, I think he actually loved her then, you know, in the movie, certainly as a father, not as anything creepy, you know, but so because he recognized her as a being, I guess, you know. And
last thing, at least the Ito in the movie, especially in the novelization, he had always seen cyborgs as human. He never made a differentiation.
Yeah.
Cyborgs were simply humans with augmented parts tacked on.
Yeah. And too right as well.
Yes. Because you got the sense when now Hugo, I don't think had any kind of prejudice against cyborgs, but you kind of got the feeling that might have been a kind of a thing in Iron City when he helps her up, you know, after she saves the little dog and stuff like that. And he looks at her and, you know, his look of like, oh, wow, she's cute, you know, or something like that. And then he sees her hand. He says, "Oh, you're a cyborg," you know, and you saw how she looked down to the ground. It's almost like she was, you know, it's just like being a target.
A little embarrassed about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Self-conscious, even though it's not even her body, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, you know, but the idea that she's a cyborg, you know, I mean, that's almost like a racial discrimination thing, you know, almost.
I definitely got the impression there's some discrimination against, I think it goes both ways too. The cyborgs a lot of times, because they are stronger and tougher, end up in a lot of cases, it seems, see themselves as better than the flesh and blood humans.
Yeah.
So they tend to treat them a little maybe less nicely, which helps feed into the stereotype that unaugmented humans might have towards augmented humans.
Yes.
So they ends up, you know, splitting each other.
Yes, indeed. And of course,
or splitting the one group from the other, something like that.
Yeah.
Now her cybernetics plays directly into Joshigan, doesn't it? Because he's a cyborg himself, and you know, they're competitors, so their relationship is strictly sports related. You know, although, you know, I know in the manga, she actually has, particularly in that side story, this, you know, Sonic Finger, she has that big poster of him in her.
She thought highly of him.
Yeah. So, you know, the cybernetics kind of are like you know, they're more like I guess you would say, complementary of each other in their relationship, because they're both cyborgs, you know. And so anyway,
I think Alita's always saw her body as something that is just there to be used as needed. I mean, you take a look at her fight with Zapan when he was in Berserker form, and the way she immediately cuts her own body up to free herself from that fallen piece of debris and things like that. I mean, she's more than willing to, you know, carve it up if necessary to give herself an advantage over an opponent.
As opposed to us, we don't think that way about our bodies, do we?
Yeah, I mean,
our bodies we can't replace.
Yeah, we can't replace it.
Well, that's the thing. There's also going to be that instinctive sort of self-preservation thing going on, like with like if I ever had Jason get into a fight in my story. I mean, he was a full flesh and blood human. He started getting parts. If his cybernetic arm got caught in a bunch of gears or something like that, and he had to carve it off to free himself, he might, you know, well, first freak out a little bit that his arm got caught in a bunch of gears, because that's kind of an instinctive reaction. You know, my body is being smashed apart.
Mm-hmm.
and then cutting it off to free himself, it would probably be something he'd hesitate to do because, well, normal humans don't cut themselves apart to, free themselves from something like that, at least not readily. But she's been a cyborg her entire life.
Yeah.
Even since infancy. So she doesn't have that same view of her body, I don't think, that we do.
Yeah, it's like a human. If the human has to cut off their arm, let's say, like that one guy, there was a movie they made about him that
what was it called
got
again?
trapped in that cave or whatever it was, and he had to cut his arm off to get out,
crevasse or something like that. But yeah,
that was a last resort. Whereas with Alita, it wouldn't be no big deal, she just take her
I
arm.
say she might try a couple times she might give a couple of tries to get the arm loose so she can get out, but barring that, she wouldn't hesitate too terribly long before severing the arm at some point to get herself out of there.
Actually, it is something that it is something that is talked about in the Mars Chronicle when Alita fights against Erika. At some point, she cuts her arm off and fight with her own arm, and for a second it baffles Erika, and she's like, "All right." She has always been like this since she's a child, because since she always had a cyber body, she had never been scared of losing a limb or anything.
Yeah, because it's going to give her a different way of looking at her body. It's going to be more tool, I think, than what we would see our body as.
Exactly. But in the movie, it is given more emotional feeling to her, surely, the Berserker body.
Well, particularly that Berserker body, because she said it feels more me.
It's slightly different from the manga in that way, in her relationship to her body.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I didn't mean to imply that she wasn't going to have a connection to the body, but she's not going to have the same kind of view of
that's right.
body.
Yeah. No, definitely right. Yeah.
It would maybe akin to the way we would have a connection to, say, a car. Right? I mean, if you have a flat tire, you just replace the tire, or something like that. Or if you need a new fuel injector, or you need, who knows, what you might
new
need,
suspension system, whatever, something like that. Yeah,
you just replace it. It's no big deal.
But that's still your car, and especially a lot of guys, they're going to have a strong emotional connection to their car. That's my car. Don't mess with my car.
Yep.
But if something gets broken, they're not going to have a problem with, replacing it or getting a new part to fix it back up again.
Yep.
In the movie, again, they make a special point of saying you can't fix it. It's technology. So maybe she'll have a bit more, but still the same point holds that it's not the same as if we lost an arm. She could jimmy on some kind of replacement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons that she goes with the motorball body too. Somebody had mentioned that it was probably because the Berserker body wasn't within a certain level of specs. But according to what I'd read of the rules they laid down in Ito's journal, that from what I understand, they were using in the movie and in the novelization. Her Berserker body absolutely is within specs for what they would allow on the track. The problem is it can be damaged enough that something can break to the point Ito can't fix it, or even its own self-repair system may not be able to fix. And if that happens, well, that kind of ups the odds of her losing some aspect of its operation that she may not be able to afford losing. So it's best to use a lower grade body like the motorball body that can be more easily fixed by Ito, or the technology they have on hand. Yeah,
because Ito did say he couldn't fix it. So he said, this is technology. I can't, if you break this body, I can't fix it. So
And I have no doubt that while it is really durable and really good at self-repair, there is probably a limit to how self-repairing it can be.
Well, it's probably a balancing act for her in consideration whether, I could actually really be seriously damaged in the motorball body to the point to where maybe, it's going to be a real problem. Whereas with the Berserker body, it's more resilient, but it can't be fixed, So, I mean, it's probably a quandary, in some ways. and probably losing Hugo in the Berserker body.
Yeah, like with Maxi's story, like in the manga and in Maxi's story, it's like, you know, she's got a certain don't want to say repulsion, but I guess that's the only word I can come up with.
Well, she just had a connection of Hugo's death with a Berserker body.
Yeah, so
because the Berserker body couldn't save him, you know, so she didn't want to have anything to do with it.
So there's a lot of pain, emotional pain connected to it right now that needs to be dealt with.
And probably that's the body that Hugo really, you know, with her in it, really fell in love with, you know, and that's added to the pain, you know.
It was, she experienced her first like intimacy with that body properly, because I don't think the doll body would have had the same touch. The way Hugo was like on the bridge.
Well, the first intimacy that she can remember anyway.
She would have never have felt that before. So that body must have had such an attachment to that, and her relationship with Hugo. You're so right.
Well, it was probably the first intimacy that she may remember, because, you know, she lost her memory. She could have had a boyfriend when she was on Mars. You just don't know. Although I don't remember seeing one in Mars Chronicles. So, you know, but you know, hey,
I was going to say that may be true of auto racing, but it doesn't seem to necessarily be the case in Motorballs.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the restrictions are placed on whether or not you've got a certain body form and what kind of weapons, and whether or not they remain connected to the body.
Well, there's regulations, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, there may be some, but they seem to be rather loose.
Yeah. Well, there's also regulations in car racing too. So I mean,
he was talking about, Badman was talking about that. Yeah.
So anyway, well, Chaos is another one, I guess. He's a human boy, isn't he? But now he does have an extraordinary ability. You know, he's got that psychometry. So, you know, his relationship with Alita was it started out a little strange, but I think it worked into, well, I say strange. He actually had the hots for her, I guess, and she wasn't having any part of that, but she still respected him a lot, you know. So, you know, I don't know. I think where his relationship with Alita was all founded basically on his psychometry. You know, he touches her and he gets these floods of memory, you know, from her. Remember, he calls her Yoko, you know, and it's like, she's what kind of thing, you know, what'd you call me Yoko for, or something to that effect, you know. So I think that her cybernetics basically was the base, was a major part of his relationship with Alita, that is maybe a little different than the one with Ito, you know, because he could actually, he had a strong sense of who she was, you know, by touching her, because he had psychometry, whereas Ito just kind of like is like an adopted daughter, you know, that kind of thing, I think. So any thoughts, guys, about Chaos?
I don't know him very well.
I don't remember him very well, but it does seem more that he was more infatuated with her than she was with him.
Yes.
I'm really not sure exactly how she saw him. She didn't seem to see him badly, but I think she might have seen him as a bit of a weirdo.
Well, well, I think she did respect him because he had some good intentions and stuff like that, you know, but yeah, she had no romantic interest in him, that's for sure, you know. So
yeah, there didn't seem to be any of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think at some point she thought he was a pain in the ass in some cases, probably.
It would be interesting to see what they do with him in the movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if they try to start a romantic thing between the two of them, that's not going to work well, I don't think, or at least
if they stick with the manga version a little bit,
they'll be
no doubt Chaos will try to, but I don't see Alita reciprocating.
Well, that was one of the funny panels I liked in there. He gets a little touchy feely with her, and she slugs him.
Yeah, I think he leans in for a kiss or something like that, and yeah, she just tells him to stop screwing around and backhands him.
Yeah, just he goes flying, you know.
And she casually backhands him too. She's not even trying to hurt him. She just like stop screwing around. It's like whack.
Is that the one where he reaches inside her chest?
No, that's it's after that.
Oh, it's after that, but because she was
they're like outside. And,
yeah.
They were messing with something. I think they were putting together some kind of device or something like that.
Oh, I thought it was a weird fetish thing.
Well, he was messing around with something that he got backhanded for. That's
honestly, I think he was leaning in for a kiss or something like that.
Yes.
Thinking he was being all romantic, and she just like wasn't having it. It was like stop screwing around, casually just backhands him and sends him like rolling a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I don't think she saw him as ugly. I don't think she saw that, you know, but just no romantic inclination with him. You know, that's, you know, I guess that's what that was. But that relationship was all founded on just his psychometry from his standpoint. Now, she doesn't have psychometry, so she just sees him as, okay, maybe a person that's maybe honorable in some ways, a bit of a pain in the ass in other ways, you know, but overall a good person. But, you know, nah, he doesn't do anything for me, you know, this kind of thing. Koyomi, of course, is another human. And in the manga, Koyomi's certainly a different person than she is in the movie. I mean, the movie, she's kind of at the very least, she's Tanji's friend, you know, good friend. And, you know, you don't.
Yeah, I think in the movie, she's more of a peer. And in the manga, she's, well, more of a young friend, maybe even little sister at some point.
Yeah. And she's, well, I think also originally she's a baby, you know, so I mean, it's not, there's no, you know, I mean, probably Alita thought she was cute as a baby, you know, because seems to me women always
seems to have a protective impulse towards children.
Well, she went after Makaku because Makaku had, you know, taken Koyomi down, and she was afraid that Makaku was going to eat her brain or something, you know, so. So anyway, but you know, that one to me was more like, you know, to me, I may be wrong about this, but to me, a lot of times women really love babies. You know, to me, it's almost like more than men do. Maybe that's not the case. I don't know, you know. So maybe Alita had that kind of a feeling for Koyomi in the manga. She's a baby. Oh, she's so cute.
That maternal instinct.
Yeah, maternal instinct. That's right. So anyway, that's that. Now this guy, Ed, or Esdoc in the manga, he's you know, his relationship with Alita, of course, is it's a sports related thing, I guess. They're somewhat friends, I guess, but it's more like a working relationship. You know, he's her manager or main tuner, I guess is what he is. So actually,
I think Umba was the tuner.
Umba was the tuner. That's right.
I think. I'm not. Yeah. I can't remember.
No, I think you're right. I think Umba was the tuner, and Esdoc was kind of a he
was like a mechanic / manager.
Yeah, that's right. Team leader type guy or something like that. You know, what's this? Coin is a standard to which gauge passes of time. Yeah, that's right, because she was a baby to begin with, and she ended up being as a young woman. And of course, Alita looks pretty much the same. You know,
I'm not sure I would say young woman. I think she was like 14 or 15 by the time.
I think so. Yeah, she's a teenager. Yeah,
teenage girl.
Well, she's a teenage girl in the movie, I guess. So, but she starts out as a teenage girl. I think she's closer to
20 in the
Could
movie.
Be. Yeah.
I mean, the gang wasn't very young. They were still, you know, really young, but I think they were more young adult than anything.
Yeah, some of them look like they were in their late 20s to me, you know, maybe even early 30s. Some of those guys.
Well, they all looked like they were early 20s to me.
Yeah. Really?
At the oldest.
Yeah, me too. Or like late teens, definitely not younger.
Yeah, Badman points out that Ed was the trainer or manager, but Ed he's a former motorball competitor. And he got injured or something like that, and he had to retire or whatever.
Yeah, there's some big accident. He got hooked on some kind of drug to deal with or had to rely on a certain drug because of a neurological damage that he ended up.
Yeah,
suffering.
But Umba was a tuner. That's right. So yeah, that's right, Badman. So Bad man, you're a regular subject matter expert on this. I mean, wow. More so than the Creek is, that's for sure, you know. But yeah, Ed, you know, now Ed in the manga was the guy that sold the Berserker body, didn't he?
Yeah, because he was trying to keep Alita in the game. He didn't want her leaving.
Yeah.
He was trying to fulfill his own sort of dream through her.
Well, he was living vicariously through her too.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, her competition.
Well, that's what I meant.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So, and of course he did make the ultimate sacrifice for her, didn't he? That crazy guy jumped out there and was going to shoot Alita, and he jumped in the way and shot half his head off, I guess, or something like that.
Put a bullet in his head. Yeah.
Yeah, and Alita kind of finished the guy off in like split seconds. So, you know, so anyway, which
she's good at that.
Yeah, she is. She'd be a great friend, but you wouldn't want to piss her off. That's for sure, you know. And I don't think she'd be that easily. I don't think she's, you know, she's not that capricious, I don't think. I mean, certainly she can go sideways on you, but, you know, I don't think she's a person that's
it took a lot for her to get to the state she was in the Badlands arc, because so much crap had happened to her and she had lost so much. And then the isolation and everything, that I think that fed a lot into her ending up the way she was in the Badlands arc. So it
it's
took
also
a lot for her to end up like that.
Yeah, Zalem lied to her too, telling her all the people she considered family and friends were dead, you know, and she, you know, she had nothing, you know, it's almost like they were telling you, hey, you got nothing to live for except work for us. And if you don't work for us, we're going to kill you. You know, I mean, really? So that's pretty shitty when you think about it, but.
Zalem shitty? No,
can't be. Then there's Nova. Now, Nova is, for the most part in the manga, he's after Alita. He doesn't, you know, but he would be the antagonist, I guess. But there are some places where he does help Alita. You know, I mean, I guess that one in Mars Chronicles, there's a scene where who are they looking for, and they had to rely on Nova. See, I haven't read Mars Chronicles in so long, you know, that. When doesn't Zalem lie or manipulate? Yeah, that's right. That's the more correct answer, as opposed to they lied to her. Yeah, when did they not lie to her?
When do they not lie and manipulate anybody?
Yeah, that's right.
Manipulating bastards.
Yeah, I wonder if that's Kashiro's view of politicians.
Well, it kind of matches up to my view of politicians. Honestly.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for sure. You know, that's why on the Alita gaming server, that's one of my rules: no politics. You know, nah.
Oh shit! I still need to get on that.
Yeah. Did you not get a link to that, Bloody?
You probably sent one. Did you DM it to me in the DMs, or was it in like a group chat? If it's in your DM, single group DM, I'll probably just scroll up and find it. But
what
you might
I'll
just want
do,
to send it to me again, and I'll join tomorrow.
Okay, so let me.
That might be simpler.
Actually, what we'll do is we'll put that. I'm going to put it in a private chat, but I'm also going to put it in the. I'll put it in the public chat. Anybody out there wants to, if you're not in it, it's pretty cool. We're starting to do some, now it's pretty young. We haven't really done a lot with it right now, you know, but it's on Discord. So there it is right there. And Vladi, that's in the private chat if you want to copy and paste it, you know, and then go for it.
Okay.
But it seems to change too. They change it. You know, I don't know what that means. I don't know if they got some kind of. Well, I mean, they got discord.gg, but it's like they got I don't know, they got some premise router or something on it. I don't know how they do that. You know, usually you would want the same link every time, you know, but I guess, I don't know. So anyway, but yeah, Nova does help Alita at times. He doesn't always hate her or
I don't think he necessarily hates anybody, honestly. He just seems to do his own thing because he likes doing his own thing, and
Well,
he gets a
he's
certain
fucking
joy
weird.
out of
That's
it.
what he is.
He's
He's
psychopath.
just a freaking weirdo. That's all. But he's a smart weirdo. He's a genius.
Very
so, I mean,
smart
it makes him dangerous, you know. So.
Oh yeah.
And then Lou Collins is another one I thought of. That was her controller, you know, after Bigot Eisenberg, I guess. And well, I guess I could have added Bigot Eisenberg here, but you know, Lou Collins, Alita actually, when I guess they take at some point, you know, Lou Collins, you know, they get her brain somehow and put it in Melchizedek, and Alita wants to go rescue her, but Lou Collins doesn't remember her, you know, and that was kind of a little sad little panel right there, because Alita, you know, is trying to rescue her and get her back, you know, to reality or something like that. And Lou Collins says, "Who are you?" You know, or something like that, you know, when she was in a kind of an Ouroboros type thing, you know.
Yeah.
So Alita had to just leave her, you know. I mean, you know, that was kind of sad, really. So. Yeah. Anyone else, guys, that you can think of? Because the next one we'll talk about more general aspects of her cybernetics, how they play with any relationships she may have.
Relationships to her enemies.
It could be enemies.
Oh,
or anyone.
We did have movie, yeah.
Like Kana would be one, I guess, although Alita didn't really know her that long, you know. So
yeah, Nova considers everyone else either assistants or patients. I would probably put it, he considers everybody else either subjects to be experimented on or assistants in the experiments.
Yeah. Or just nobody.
Which is probably the same thing that Badman saying. So yeah.
Yeah, he considers them nobodies, basically. I mean, certainly he had a thing for Eli. Yeah, Eli's kind of, yeah, he did.
Yes.
Eli's kind of sexy.
I think it was more that Eli had something for him and he was willing to go along with it because, you know, why not?
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't really see him having human feelings for other people, because it's hard for me to see him as really human, because he did not act in any way that I would consider, I guess, sane or humane towards others.
He's to me, he's a monster, you know, most of the time.
A little psycho freak.
Yes. Yep. Oh, that's going to be cool when they finally get the sequel guy in there, because you know, it's like that one video I made, you know, where she's pointing a Damascus blade up there, and I put a little caption on it, "Go get him, girl." So I want to see that. You know, of course they won't be able to kill him in the second movie because he's got to be alive in the third movie. So, you know, he's. Of course, they killed Vector, didn't they? So I mean, I don't know. Maybe they can kill him. I'm not sure. You know.
Well, it depends if they've got some kind of replacement for him that'll take the story. That'll continue the story in a sensible fashion.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else, guys, worth mentioning here?
Don't think so.
Matt, too.
Me.
Are you still with us, Matt, too? I know it's getting really late there.
No, I'm here.
Okay. Is there anybody in the manga that you can think of that maybe Alita had a relationship with that might be where her cybernetics plays a role?
I mean, she for sure kicks Zach's ass a lot. And I would, we mentioned her before, Erica, maybe eventually,
yes.
But it's more topic. It's more of a topic in the Mars Chronicle.
Yeah.
Like, her body is a huge topic in it, because I don't know if it's a spoiler or not at this point, but I mean, it's okay. Alita never had a flesh body in her life. And as I mentioned before, this was something Erica mentioned. And at the beginning, Alita wasn't even able to operate properly her little cyber body. And it's Erica even finds it actually really cute. And she's like a baby to her due to that kind of thing.
Well, I know when she was riding in that van on Mars, you remember that guy picked her and Erica up, and Alita wasn't really good at walking or something, what it was. And all of a sudden Erica said, well, Yoko doesn't walk that well. And all of a sudden Yoko's walking around, how'd you learn to do that or something like that? Now I can't remember the name of the guy that picked him up, but yeah, certainly Erica. Damn, I should have put Erica up there because they were certainly sort of enemies, for a lot of it, but not always. I mean, in the Mars Chronicle, they were like sisters almost, although they're not really sisters, but they were kind of like sisters, in a way, and they kind of picked, had each other's backs. They were kids, for sure. Shamira, I don't know, Badman. I don't think Shamira had much of a relationship with Alita. I don't recall seeing anything where they got very close at all. I mean, I know, I guess Joshigan wanted Ito to marry Shamira because Joshigan knew he was terminal and he wasn't going to be around much longer, and he wanted somebody to take care of Shamira. But I don't think Shamira had much of any kind of relationship with Alita. I could be wrong about that.
Didn't seem like she did, no.
Yeah. Yeah, they're found family. That's right. Yeah, because they're not really sisters, are they? They were just a happenstance that they were together on Mars, when they had I guess it was the Civil War or something, where the wind group and the Apogee or something like that group were fighting each other, I think. Yeah, he's a medic. What was his name, Badman? Finch. That's right. Finch. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now it comes back. The barman. Yeah, maybe the barman, because in the manga she does sing in Kansas Bar, the rebuilt Kansas Bar, doesn't she? She certainly does that. So she had to have some kind of relationship with him because he would have hired her to be a musician.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, I don't think they were super duper close, but yeah, they did become a little more friendly to each other. That's right. So, well, anyway. So what are your takes on, Alita being a cyborg, and how does that drive any relationship that she would have to a human? I mean, what any general thoughts about that?
Yeah, we've kind of gone into some of them already when we're talking about all the different people. But yeah, it's just obviously having the different kind of body compared to a regular human is the main thing.
Yeah.
Having to
I think I would almost say that. Oh, what's the word? Sorry, my mind's blanking again. Shit.
Also, having to live so much longer than regular humans. You'd have to think about that as well. She would just go on and on, won't she? But
yeah, because that's right.
Eventually lose Hugo, whatever happened.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was going to go for. For most people, getting a lot of power is going to change, possibly negatively impact the way that they treat other people. They're going to see themselves as maybe a little bit above, or others as suddenly a little bit lesser. She never seems to have that happen to her.
Yeah.
I mean, as we've often said, she maintains her humanity even through all of that.
Yeah.
I think the only one I would be concerned with would be the Imaginos body, because that one just ratchets up her powers so far above anything a human can do.
Yeah. Well, even when she goes off the rails in the Badlands arc, she was really off the rails on that one. And then of course, Figure 4.
But again, that's not necessarily because of her cybernetics. That's the circumstances that she ends up with.
And that's where Zalem lied to her, we were talking about a while ago. That played a major role in that. But can you imagine her being off the rails like that? And what would that how would she think of humans when she was off the rails? You know what?
Did you say Badlands arc or Badman arc?
Badlands. Did I say Badman?
Okay.
Badman's he's a guy in the chat.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a Badman.
Badlands.
Why couldn't they have develop like synthetic nerve endings that create the same sensations?
Badman says, I have an arc now.
Yeah, I think he might have heard you say Badman. I wasn't listening, so I couldn't say. But
yeah, okay.
I wouldn't necessarily agree that none of them would have the sensory resolution, because we've got limbs out now. They're still in the prototype stage. They're getting senses of touch, and they're pretty good.
Yeah.
So I can't see within the a couple hundred years them not getting to the sensory resolution of a biological body.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the Berserker body almost has that, because the way she was.
I think it has better than human.
I was listening to him. Yeah, possibly even better. Exactly. Could it be even more sensitive than a human body?
Could be.
I was listening to a BBC podcast thing about how the light touch gives you those sensations on the side of your arm, and I was just thinking about how they could replicate that with like nanotechnology, and I'm sure they could eventually. They could send those pleasure receptors all the way up to your brain, and it will just feel even better than the human body.
What's interesting about it is touch itself, even pain for that matter, because touch is really just a reduced sensation of pain, because all it is electrical signals. And if your body generates electrical signals, it can be detected by something, I mean, now maybe it's maybe we got to go a ways to make sure that detection and connectivity to that's got to really be really great. But I think it's really just electricity is all it is, I mean, well, I say all it is, that's trivializing it a little bit, but I think Lottie, I'm sorry, Lee.
I was just going to say, but yeah, you've got to be able to get a oh crap, now my mind blanked on me again. I'm sorry.
When that happens to me, Lee, I just say I had a senior moment.
You're mentioning something I said as well. I think that might have been before.
Yeah. Welcome, Chaos Nova from Mentor, Ohio.
Hello.
How's it going, man?
All right. A little busy this time.
A little what?
Yes. Seems like a lot of us are busy these days.
Just working on something technical. That's all.
Yeah, I've had people on Facebook say, "Where in the heck have you been, man?" Well, I've been busting my rear end. That's what I've been doing. I've been working on stuff myself, Yeah, the creek might be a little advanced in age compared to you guys, but I still work. So, I mean, I'm not fully retired, that's for sure. So, but Vladi, you touched on a thing a while ago about, Alita being a cyborg. She's going to live a lot longer than humans, regular humans. For one reason, even though she's got a brain, a human brain, those nanobots are going to keep that brain they're going to make it more
fresh as a daisy forever.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's going to be more resilient, and of course, her body parts. Now, certainly, her body, it's mechanical or cybernetic. It can break down, but it's kind of like we were talking a while ago. In a civilian or doll body, you can replace parts. In the Berserker body, it heals itself, and certainly the Imaginos body, it shapeshifts in addition to healing itself. So who knows how long she can live? I mean, she lived indefinitely. Now, here's why that's important. If you're basically, how would you say, now, I guess you could say she's biologically immortal because she does have a brain, except in the Imaginos body, she's got a brain chip. But in her Berserker body, her tuned body, even her doll body, she could live a very extended lifespan, because of the nanites that are, that are keeping her not just her body going, particularly in the Berserker body, but even keep her brain healthy, by
she deserves
keeping
to find someone who can live forever with her. Yeah,
and that's the thing, do you think if you're if you're, but put yourself in her position. If you're basically, for all intents and purposes, you know, immortal. I mean, she's not truly immortal because nobody lives forever, but you know, I mean, she's going to live a very long time, you know, and the people she meets, you know, and plus she's going to age more slowly, you know, because of the, you know, the I guess the regenerative ability of the nano machines that are in her cyber blood. You know, think about if Hugo hadn't died and they went off and lived happily ever after, Hugo's going to get old, you know, within about, say, 50 years or so, 60 years, and she's going to look not much different than she does now, you know. What's that going to do? And think about what that's going to mean for other humans. If she meets them and she becomes friends with them, does she get deeply attached to them? Because if I get too attached to this person, I know they're going to die and I'm going to live many, 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 many years after them. And I you know, I don't want the heartache, you know, or something like that. What do you guys think about that?
Well, yeah, like I said, I think she deserves to have someone she can live for, because it's not fair. She has to keep watching people die. I feel so sad for her every time. Yeah, she must be like, eventually she must be like, I just need to find myself a nice male berserker, or it doesn't have to be male even.
Or just become a human and live normally.
Yeah,
that's an option too, I suppose.
Well, Bad Man, I think they would live happily because Hugo did change. You know, I mean, he did love her a lot. You know, it's just unfortunate he died, you know, in the movie like he did. You know, but you know, I don't think he would do as much dumb stuff with her, you know, if they were kind of an item, you know, like closely knit bond. But still, he's going to be about 80, 90 years old, and he's going to depart the planet, and she's going to look basically like she does now. You know, that's going to be that, you know, that may affect her mental processes with any human. You know, knowing I don't want to get too connected because, you know, I'm going to outlive them by hundreds or thousands of years, and I don't want the heartache. You know, What do you think?
It seems like it would impact it. Yeah. I mean, it's a little hard to say how. She seems to have a different, what's the word?
Perspective.
She's not like a lot of other people. I mean, she seems to hold on to her humanity in situations other people would lose it.
Empathetic.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So there seems to be some differences between her and other people that make her unusual in a number of ways.
Well, Vladi, if she needs another immortal, maybe the Creek is her man. Although I'm her uncle, that would be creepy.
Yeah, you should never have called yourself her uncle, because whenever you say stuff like that, it's just way too creepy.
I know, I'm done now. I have no chance.
You made a massive mistake labeling yourself Uncle Creepy.
I take a look at some people and think I'm actually older than they are. Really?
Oh yeah.
Chaos, you're not older than me. I guarantee it.
No, but I'm like, I mean, I see other 37-year-olds and like, why do they all look older than I do?
Oh yeah. Similar theme of inheritance cycle and Aragon. Yeah, Eldest. Yes, I've seen Aragon. I haven't seen Eldest or the. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Where. You know, I guess it's similar to, you know, that series. There was a couple of movies that came out, and there was a TV series back in the 90s called Highlander, and I've heard they're going to reboot that thing. You know, I can't remember who they're going to. Yeah. Chaos, I'm going to put your links in the public chat so people can go check it out. By the way, Chaos, some of those games that you've been playing, I've been putting on the game server, if that's okay.
What, like Metal Gear Solid or?
Yeah. Or something that's somewhat Alita related, you know.
Okay, I was thinking of showing you, because we could do a parody using the intro of Metal Gear Solid, because the the commanding officer tells Solid Snake, the main guy, "Hey, you got to help my niece." And it's like, and Solid Snake says, like, "Really?"
Well, Alita's my niece. I'd help her. She's kind of my niece. No, she's not really my niece, obviously, but you know, it's a fun thing to pretend, I guess. So, but yeah, that for some.
Still tried playing Fist of the North Star, that movie we watched a while back.
Yeah. Oh, I
they had a
enjoyed
video
that.
game for it too.
Yep, I enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. So what else? Now, Lee, I guess you mentioned that a lot of times cyborgs see themselves better than humans.
There seems to be quite a few times where they see themselves as a bit, maybe a little bit better than the soft meat people.
Japan for sure.
Oh yeah,
loose meat boy over here.
Yeah, Alita doesn't seem to have that.
No, she never seems to see herself as above others.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it'd be like what we have now when we have pets. You know, pets we have now, they don't live as long as us, but we still get attached to them, don't we? So maybe that's a similar thing with her. You know, although she does, I don't think she would view a human as a pet, but you know, I mean, it would be a similar thing to.
I'll be her pet.
Okay, Vladi, you're talking about my niece now. So, but yeah, I think, you know, she might. You know, I think that's a good point. I think she probably, you know, she might say, okay, I know I'm going to be sad one day when they pass away, but we're living in the here and now, and this is a good person, and I really enjoy their company, and there seem to be somebody I can depend on if I have to, and certainly they won't be wrong to depend on me or something like that. You know, I could see her having that kind of a, you know, that kind of a thought process, you know. Yeah, dogs want to be our equals, but cats think they own us. Yes. Yeah, I know my dogs.
The whole neighborhood cats.
I'm sorry?
They own the whole neighborhood cats. You just walk around and they just own the whole place.
Yeah, we got a neighborhood cat around here as well.
So many.
Yeah. Yeah, I know my dog Solly, we were more like roommates than we were pet owner and pet, you know, so anyway. Anything else? Is there anything you can think of before we call it quits here about how Alita's cybernetics might impact?
Obviously, she has to be very careful when she's playing like sports with her friends and obviously in other departments too. She'll have to be just very careful of her strength.
Yes.
You don't want to cause an injury with that cyborg body.
Yes. Well, she certainly could have done that to Tanji, couldn't she?
Yeah, she could have killed him like straight at the start.
Yeah, but she didn't, you know, even though he pissed her off immensely. She didn't.
And in the novelization, she did feel a little bit of guilt for how badly she hurt him, because she hadn't meant to really, you know, take it quite that far. But
yeah,
she did send him flying.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
He could have died.
Yeah, she could have. Yeah, she could have gone OP on that and just really, you know, destroyed him. But
taking his head off or something.
Yep. Didn't do it though. So all right, guys. Well, anyway, I think we pretty well wore this one out. I'm not sure, unless you can think of anything else.
Because her body's so, apart from the strength and her living so long, it's really, she can still move like a human.
Yeah.
She can still feel basically like a human. So at the end of the day, it's quite similar.
Yes, I think.
And obviously we could go into other topics, but we'd have to do an extra stream for that.
Well, we have said on other streams that she is certainly in touch with her humanity. You know, I mean, she's
very much so.
Yeah, I don't think she's like, say, Zapan. You know, Zapan thinks he's better than anybody on the planet, you know, but she doesn't seem to be that way, you know, even though she's like many times stronger, faster, and a better fighter than Zapan, you know, she doesn't seem to feel that way about humans, does she? She thinks of herself as a human, you know, so yeah. Well, anything else you guys want to talk about, or even the same topic?
More human than human.
Yes.
Maybe we could talk more about like Gunner Martian Memory, but that's a topic for a later video, and I stream. I want to, be there to mention it since I played quite a bit of it.
Yeah,
we can do that. That's a good idea, Chaos. We could
tie
do
that into the Discord. We can tie it into promoting the Discord channel as well.
Well,
I'll send the link to the live stream if I plan it out in advance. Okay.
Well, you can do that with either. Just about anybody can upload or put a link on the Alita Army gaming channel. But now Matu is one of my administrators, so she's got a lot of experience with Discord, so she's going to help me out there with that one, because I have literally just about no experience with it. I'm just kind of, I've been on it several times. I know how to send messages and how to use Midjourney and stuff like that, but that's about the extent of my knowledge of it, Okay, guys, I guess we've hit that pretty good. That's a good idea, Chaos. I think we might, or actually you could do a stream on Martian Memory.
Yeah. I'll announce it in the Discord, the game Discord, okay?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I did put a link of one of your games on there, an English game that I put on the game channel for people to watch, so I put it, and I think I put it in the clips and highlights or something like that. So, all right, guys, did we miss anything?
There's probably so many things you could get into in terms of human cyborg relationships.
Yeah,
but it's so late, so I don't think we missed anything.
Yeah,
we covered it pretty well so far.
Well, the Creek, I could talk about Alita for 10 hours.
Yeah.
But we can't do that. So, all right, guys. So anyway, this is our queen right here and our goddess, Rosa. She, I'd like to know who that is behind her, looks like they're hiding behind her. Something like
Actually,
that.
It looks like two different hands. It looks like one person has their hand from one direction, the other person has their hand around her from the other direction.
Yeah, it looks like the one on her left shoulder is a female, and the one on her right shoulder looks like a male to me.
Probably co-stars in maybe Alita or some other movie in there.
I think it's Undone.
Undone. Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah. But yeah, it looks like co-stars there, posing for a picture with her.
Well, anyway, as the Creek says every week, Rosa is #1 in the Creek's book in terms of being an actress. She was really great, man. I mean, I've really, I don't have I don't really kind of, I guess, connect. Not connect, but get into an actor or actress like this, But she was so good in Alita, man. She knocked my head off. So. And she deserves a sequel, that's for sure. She deserves to reprise her role as Alita, and I know she wants to. And also, I want to give shout outs to Elle Lamont and Jesse Fisher, because they brought Screwhead to life, and certainly Screwhead could be on Alita's motorball team when she challenges Joshigan, because she does have a team in the manga. What is this? What is this? It's not Gollum clearing the path to his new movie.
God.
You mean Andy Serkis, I guess, but yeah, maybe. So, but anyway, all three of these.
We're going backwards as a culture, going back to Gollum and stuff instead of going forward.
Yeah, I don't want to see any more ape movies. I mean, I've seen enough.
I don't want to see more ape movies. I'm sick of Weta making all these ugly characters, all these ugly monkeys, all these ugly monsters like Gollum. It's just like we have something so beautiful with Alita, and they've just taken it from us.
Yeah,
it's like a crime. It's like a culture war crime. It's holding back the beauty of our culture, and now we're just getting all these ugly monsters coming back. Great.
Well, and it's like MCU movies. I mean, you know, I like MCU movies, but gosh, man, I kind of want to see some other stuff. You know, I mean, I don't want to. You know, I'm just, you know, I don't know. I don't know. It's just, you know, I'm just ready to
Rosa
move
in it
on.
to taunt us, Creaky. They literally put her in that to taunt us.
Well, now she is going to be in Captain America 4, like you say, you know, and I think I hope, like you say, Vladdy, I hope she kills all the superheroes.
She's not. She's going to become like the love interest in Captain America, and they're just going to like rub it in our face, like we've taken Alita, and now like she's ours.
Well, little do they know.
Coming back to like have a scene with Anthony Mackie every couple of movies.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, little do they know that doesn't matter. We're still going to love Rosa. It doesn't matter what they do, you know.
Obviously.
Now we're still going to keep fighting for Alita, that's for sure, you know. And if this is not going to happen, folks, but when I'm 95 years old and we don't have a sequel yet, I'm still going to be doing this right here. That's a lot of years. I mean, so you know, we want this to happen. You know, and all three of these women are really super professionals at what they do. You know, they all deserve another shot in Alita too. But as the Creek says every week, it sure don't hurt that they're pretty, because they definitely are, you know. And I think now, do you remember, Vladdy? I think Jessie Fisher said she was engaged when we interviewed her way back when. Do you remember that? I wonder if she got married.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if she got married. Yeah. I know Elle's married, and of course Rosa is not. So you know, anyway, it doesn't
Rosa's
matter.
A free spirit.
It doesn't matter whether they're married or not. We still love them. So you know, you know, because we want to see them back on the big screen. That's for sure. You know, because they're great. Okay, tomorrow, what we're going to have on Radio Chaos is what are your top 3 scenes in the Battle Angel Alita mangas? And that's going to be another nice stream. I don't ever recall seeing or being part of a Radio Chaos stream that wasn't a good stream. I mean, you know, Maxie is really good about coming up with topics. He's better at it than I am. That's for damn sure, you know.
Yeah, he's really great at that. And his thumbnails.
He does. He peppers us. I promised him I'd help him come up with a topic or 2 last week, you know, but I got so busy this week that I couldn't do it, you know. Bad man. The top 3 scenes is all of them. Okay, that's more than 3 there, bad man. But anyway, but yeah, I like the sentiment. So anyway, join us for that tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be roughly, well, let's see, it'll be 22 hours after this stream. So you know, join us for that one. It's going to be a good stream. Okay, why is this image here? Well, that image is there because I like it, and I am running the stream. I am the producer, and this is why it's here. And to paraphrase Gruishka, I'm only here for our girl and the Alita Army. And of course, all of us are only here for our girl and the Alita Army. And Disney, we want those damn sequels, for Christ's sake. Give it to us. We want it. You know, you will make money. There'll be people in the Alita Army that'll go see that sequel 100 times.
It makes no sense to bury what will obviously become $1 billion franchise after like one more movie. It's like, it just makes no sense. There's obviously some kind of malicious stuff going on behind the scenes we don't know about.
Even if it doesn't make $1 billion, it's going to make money.
Added on to the 400 million from the first movie. I mean, the franchise overall will make $1 billion either after the next movie or the one after that.
Well, think of it this way. Even though the first movie, even as badly as it was treated and poorly promoted, it still made money. It still made, and it's making money today.
But that's not how they think about it. These like reptilian suits.
That's really ridiculous. So anyway, well, I guess our rant's over, Lottie. So, so it is what it
quick
is.
rant to finish off the stream, warming up to get back on Twitter.
Yes, indeedy. Okay, so I guess that just leaves one thing to do, and that would be on my count of 3, the call to action, and that would be 1, 2, 3. Film those sequels, baby.
I've lost so much confidence in saying that at the right speed now.
That's right. So anyway, we will see you next week, next Friday or Saturday, if you live in the future, on the Alita Livestream. We'll see you tomorrow on Radio Chaos. Bye.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
See ya. Good night.
What's up, Alita Army? This is Hot Toys Alita, and I hope you enjoyed this week's Alita Livestream. Please join my Uncle Creek, Angelus, and our other guests for next week's show. Remember, I do not stand by in the presence of evil, and film those sequels, baby. See you next time.